Hello students, this is Lohita. Here we are into zoology NEET class. Today we are going to learn few concepts related to principles of inheritance and variation. Okay, so today first we are going to learn about mutations. See, these mutations are actually any alternation in the genetic material. Any alternation in the genetic material of the DNAs is called as mutation. Okay, any alternation of the DNA is called as mutation. Any alternation of the DNA, which is the genetic material, is called as mutation. Okay. So, mutations are nothing but the changes in the DNA. Mutations are nothing but the changes in the DNA. Okay. So, these changes in the DNA will result in the changes in the phenotype and genotype of the individual. Changes in the DNA, alternation of the DNA, this will result in the changes of the phenotype and also genotype of the character. Okay, phenotype and genotype of the individual, they will be changing because of mutations. Okay, as we have already studied in our previous classes that recombination is the one which is causing changes in DNA. Right, we have already studied in our previous classes that recombination is causing changes in the DNA, but not only recombination, mutations are also causing changes in DNA. So, we can say that both the mutations and both the recombination and also mutation, they cause changes in DNA, they cause changes in DNA. Both recombination and mutations, they can cause changes in the DNA. Both recombination and mutation, they can cause changes in the DNA. Okay. So, students, what is happening due to what is happening due to these changes in DNA? The phenotype or the genotype of the individual is affected, right? So, what changes are exactly happening in the DNA? What is that change which is exactly happening in the DNA? Why is this change occurring? These changes in DNA are occurring because by adding or by adding, that means insertion, due to insertion or due to duplication, due to insertion or duplication of the genes, due to insertion or duplication of the genes, or due to deletion of the genes, due to deletion of the genes, these mutations are occurring. Mutations means changes in DNA, that may be insertion or duplication of genes, or it may be deletion of the genes. Okay, it may be duplication or insertion, or it may be deletion of the genes. Okay, so actually in the chromosomes are appearing consisting of chromatids. Chromosomes consist of chromatids, right? So, along the length of the chromatids, a single DNA, a single molecule of DNA will be extending along the entire length. Okay, along the entire length of the chromatid of the chromosomes, a single DNA will be extending. Okay, single DNA will extend along the entire length of the chromosomes. So, in the length of the chromosome, there will be one DNA molecule extending, Okay. So, if insertion or duplication or deletion of the genes in this DNA molecule will cause changes in the chromatids, Okay. Mutation of this DNA molecule, will cause changes in the chromatids. That means it is resulting in the changes in the chromosomes. That is nothing but chromosomal aberrations. Chromosomal aberrations are occurring. Aberrations are nothing but abnormalities. Aberrations means abnormalities. Because of this mutations, chromosomal abnormalities are occurring. Okay. So, these chromosomal aberrations are of different types, as we have seen: insertion or duplication or deletion of genes. Okay. Not only these, there are some other types of mutations also, like point mutation. point mutation. Point mutation means there is change in only one base pair, change in only one base pair, change in only one base pair is called as point mutation. Change in only one base pair is called as point mutation. Okay. As you see, in case of the beta globin chains of the hemoglobin, in case of beta globin chains of hemoglobin, chain of hemoglobin, in the 6th position there is an amino acid called as glutamic acid. There is an amino acid called as glutamic acid. Okay. In the 6th position there is an amino acid called as glutamic acid. Okay. The codon coding this glutamic acid is GAG. Okay. The codon coding this glutamic acid is GAG. So, let us see what is happening to this mutation in this glutamic acid. So, here glutamic acid is coded by the codon GAG. So, a single point mutation has occurred in this glutamic acid codon. Here there is change is only one base pair, right. So, here in GAG this A is replaced by U, GAG has become GUG. Okay. So, this GAG which was coding for glutamic acid is becoming GUG which is coding for valine. So, here in the 6th position of this beta globin molecule, glutamic acid is now replaced by valine. It is replaced by valine. So, here glutamic acid replaced by valine is resulting in a disorder called as sickle cell anemia. Sickle cell anemia. In that way, point mutations are causing complete change in the structure of the red blood cell. Okay, only one base pair difference is causing this much big change, causing a disease called the sickle cell anemia. Okay, so that's about point mutation. See, insertion or deletion of the DNA part, insertion of deletion of a part of a DNA will result in frame shift mutation. It will result in frame shift mutation. Frame shift mutation means there will be a shift in the reading of DNA. There will be a shift in the reading of DNA. Generally, in the DNA, whatever the codons are there, like in the form of GUG which we have seen here. So, three nucleotides will become a codon. Okay, 3 nucleotides will make up a codon. For example, GUG, GAGG, GAAC, like for suppose if these are okay, for suppose if this is the DNA strand consisting of these nucleotides, 3 nucleotides make up one codon. Now look at here. So, in this way 3 nucleotides are making up one codon. So, insertion or deletion of a part of the DNA will cause frame shift mutations. For example, 1A is deleted. 1A is deleted. If this particular A is deleted, then what will be there? GUG, GGG, AAUUTTAA. This will be the DNA strand now. So, see GUG, triple G, AAU, UTT, A is not forming any codon. See, completely there is a shift in the reading frame of the DNA. So, this is called as frame shift mutation. Here A codon, only one base pair is deleted, and see how much big change has occurred in the reading frame. AGG is not seen. So, entire frame of reading of the DNA will be changing. That is frame shift mutation due to insertion or due to deletion. If any nucleotide is newly inserted, then also the same will happen, frame shift mutation will occur. Okay. So, why are these mutations occurring? That is a big question, right. So, let us solve it also. Why are these mutations occurring? See, there are some physical and chemical factors. There are some physical and chemical factors which cause mutations, So those things which are causing mutations, the causatives of mutations, are called as mutagens. The causative of mutations are called mutagens. Mutagens are those factors which cause mutations. Even our UV rays is an example for a mutagen. Even UV rays are example for mutagen. Okay, so that's all about mutation, students. So with this we finished to learn completely about mutations. We learned what the mutations are: changes in the DNA, changes in DNA causing changes in the chromosomes, also resulting in chromosomal abnormalities, and we have learnt about point mutations, frame shift mutations, right. So that's all about mutations. Okay. Next we are going to learn about a pedigree analysis. See my pedigree analysis. So it's been known to humankind that there is inheritance of characters from one generation to another generation. This we all know, right. So that's been known to man since very long time, even before the emergence of branch of genetics. Humankind knows that there is inheritance of characters from one generation to another generation. Right. So, see what is the reason behind inheritance of characters from one generation to another generation? It is DNA. Okay. DNA is the reason for inheritance of characters. DNA is the reason for inheritance of characters from one generation to another generation. Okay. See, my DNA is novel. DNA is something which is very pure, very novel. This DNA, it is not undergoing any changes. DNA will not undergo any changes. DNA will be as it is, passed from one generation to another generation. See, a human being is just giving birth to a human being only. It is just because of the DNA. The DNA of a man is transferred in the same way to the next generation. So, DNA is the one which is responsible for the inheritance of characters. DNA is transmitted in its in the same way from one generation to another generation. It is inherited in the same form. In the same form, it is inherited from one generation to another generations. The DNA is it is inherited in the same forms. Okay. So, this inheritance of character, that is why we are all having similar characters to the parents. Some diseases and disorders are also inherited because of the DNA which is coming from the parents. Some disorders are also inherited because of the DNA which is coming from the parents itself. Okay. So, you know, after the Mendelian laws of inheritance, these people have started to study more about the inheritance of diseases in case of human beings. Okay. So, as Mendel performed his experiments on pea plants by selectively breeding the plants, but that is not possible in the case of man, right. So, for that reason there is a technique utilized, that is called as pedigree analysis, in which we will be studying the inheritance of a particular character for several generations. Okay. The study of inheritance of trait for several generations, for several generations is called as pedigree analysis. Okay. The study of the pattern of inheritance, we have to exactly state as the study of the pattern of inheritance, of a trait for several generations. So, we will be considering at least 2 to 3 previous generations for pedigree analysis. Okay. So, here pedigree analysis is the pattern of the inheritance of a trait for several generations is called as pedigree analysis. So, here we will consider at least 2 to 3 generations. We will consider at least 2 to 3 generations in pedigree analysis. Okay. So, here in this case of pedigree analysis, it is helpful for us to understand the possibility of the occurrence of a trait, the possibility of the occurrence of a trait, okay, the possibility of occurrence of a trait in the next generation, in the next generations. Okay, we can also estimate the possible phenotypes and genotypes, the possible phenotypes and genotypes. Okay, so this pedigree analysis is very much helpful in understanding the inheritance pattern of different diseases. Okay, it is helpful in understanding the inheritance pattern, of different diseases. We can say that if this disease is related to male individuals, or if this disease is restricted to female individuals, or if this disease is because of the sex chromosomes, or if it is because of the autosomes, that can be understood by pedigree analysis. Okay, so here we will be using certain symbols in pedigree analysis to show the traits. Okay, to show the traits we will be using some symbols here to indicate the individuals. Okay, now let us see what are the symbols used in pedigree analysis. So, this square, it indicates a male, okay, it indicates it is a male. A circle indicates it is a female, okay, circle indicates it is a female. A diamond shape is indicating that sex is unspecified, okay. So, a line which is drawn between a male and female is indicating mating. Okay, if two lines are drawn between a male and female, it is indicating consanguineous mating. Consanguineous mating means mating between the related individuals, blood related individuals. Mating between blood related individuals is called consanguineous mating. Okay. These downward lines are indicating daughter individuals. Downward lines are indicating daughter individuals. Downward lines are indicating daughter individuals. These are the parents, these are the offsprings. It is indicating offsprings. Okay. So, the order of the offsprings will be from left to right. So, this will be the first born individual, this will be the second born individual. Okay. So, if there are continuously two males, then we can write it simply as, we do not have to write anything outside, we have to understand that this is the first, left one is the first born, right one is the next born one. We can write the numbers inside this, 1, we can write the number 2, that means 2 males followed by 3 females, like that we can write the numbers inside, okay, to indicate the number of offsprings. And when we are just fading this symbols, the faded symbols or the colored symbols, they will indicate that these people are affected. So, here it is indicating that male is affected. If I am drawing this shading inside the circle, this is indicating that the female is affected. Okay. If I am just writing this as 5, so it is indicating that 5 unaffected individuals, 5 unaffected individuals. This is sex unspecified, and 5 of them are unaffected. In that way we can understand things from the different symbols which are used in pedigree analysis. Just the symbols are used here, we will just draw a family tree. Okay. Here in pedigree analysis we will be drawing a family tree. Here we will be drawing a family tree using the symbols, using these symbols we will be just drawing a family tree from which we can understand the inheritance pattern of a particular character. Okay. So, that is all about pedigree analysis. Now, we will be learning about the next concept. We are learning about the genetic disorders. Genetic disorders are actually those disorders which are caused due to changes in the DNA, that is a single change in the DNA. These genetic disorders may be caused due to changes in the DNA of the gene or changes in the entire chromosome, changes in the chromosomes. Okay, generally no, the DNA is inherited as it is, as we have already studied, but at sometimes mostly due to mutations, genetic disorders occurs. Mostly due to mutations, changes may occur in the DNA of a gene or changes may occur in the entire chromosomes, causing genetic disorders. Okay, so depending upon the changes occurring in the genes or in the chromosomes, these genetic disorders are mainly categorized into two types. Okay, the first one is Mendelian disorders and the second one is chromosomal disorders. Mendelian disorders, chromosomal disorders. Okay, these are the two types of disorders, genetic disorders. In today's class, we will be learning only about Mendelian disorders. Okay, so first let us learn about Mendelian disorders. What are the characters of Mendelian disorders? Let us learn. Okay, see these Mendelian disorders, they are actually caused due to mutation of a single gene, okay, mutation of a single gene. So, because this Mendelian disorders are caused due to mutation of single gene, these are also called as monogenic disorders. Because they are caused due to mutation of a single gene, they are also called as monogenic disorders. Okay. So, students, next thing is about Mendelian disorders. They are named as Mendelian disorders because of mutation of only one gene, these Mendelian disorders follow the Mendelian pattern of inheritance. They follow the Mendelian pattern of inheritance. They will be following Mendelian pattern of inheritance. Okay. So, these Mendelian disorders, they can be traced using pedigree analysis. They can be traced using pedigree analysis. Okay. These Mendelian disorders, they may be either autosomal or allosomal. That means they may be caused due to change in the autosomes or in the allosomes. They may be dominant or recessive. Okay. So, let us study some of the examples of Mendelian disorders. So, we are going to learn examples for Mendelian disorders like color blindness, hemophilia and sickle cell anemia. Then we have phenylketonuria, then thalassemia. Okay, these are the examples for Mendelian disorders: color blindness, hemophilia, sickle cell anemia, phenylketonuria and thalassemia. These are the examples for Mendelian disorders. Okay. So, we have to now study about each of the Mendelian disorders in detail. Okay. So, the first Mendelian disorder we are learning is color blindness. Color blindness is an X-linked recessive disorder. It is an X-linked recessive disorder. Okay. We can say it as X-linked recessive disorder because the genes which are causing this color blindness are located on the X chromosome, and it is a recessive disorder. It is an X-linked recessive disorder. Males are mostly affected. Males are mostly affected because it is X-linked recessive. Males are mostly affected. Nearly 8% of the total males are affected. 8% of the total males are affected. Females are not very less affected. Females affected is only 0.4%. Only 0.4% of the females are affected because this is X-linked recessive disorder. Okay. So, color blindness is actually due to defective rods or defective, this is due to defect in the red cones or green cones, red cones or green cones, because of which the person will be having an inability to differentiate between red and green colors. Because of this, the person will be unable to differentiate red and green colors. The person will be unable to differentiate red and green colors. He will not be able to identify the red and green colors. Okay, that is the disorder in this person. And as it is X-linked recessive disorder, so if the female, chances for female to be affected is very less, 0.4% only, right. So, females are generally carriers, females are generally carriers, okay. Females are generally carriers. From this carrier females, nearly 50% of the sons are affected. 50% of the sons are affected, and daughters, they may be carriers. Daughters may be carriers. They may be carriers because females are carriers means I will just show you it using symbols, capital X, small x. The male individual, 50% of the males receive a capital X, 50% of males receive capital X, 50% of the female males receive small x, 50% of the males receive small x. This 50% with a small x will be affected and 50% with the capital X will be unaffected. Okay. If the same is in case of the females, let us see what is happening, capital X, small x. So, if the male individual is affected, that means the male individual is capital X, capital Y for suppose. Okay. If the daughter individual is a female, the daughter individual will get capital X, or it will get capital X, small x. So, capital X will be absolutely normal, capital X, small x condition will be a carrier. Okay, this condition will be a carrier. This individual will be a normal one, this other female individual will be a carrier. What if this female carrier is getting married to a colorblind man? Let us see, capital X, small x, capital Y. Okay. So, the individuals will be like capital X, small x, small x. In that case, the females will be affected. Only in that case, females will be affected. And if the female is affected, all sons are affected, all sons of these females are affected, all the sons of these females are affected. So, students, in these cases it is very important for you to understand what are the possibility conditions in the offsprings. Okay. What are the possible conditions in the offsprings. Okay. Females are carriers, 50% of the sons are affected, daughters may be carriers, females are carriers, daughters may be carriers. The same case here, 50% of the males receive capital X, so they will be unaffected. If this female is married to a normal individual, then 50% of the males will be affected. If the female married to a normal individual is giving birth to females, then half of them will be normal, half of them will be carriers. Then the 50% of this carrier sons will be affected. If the female is carrier and the male is affected, then in such case male will be definitely affected if he is having only one X. Males are affected more because males have only one X chromosome. Whatever is the X chromosome, its effect will be shown. That is why males are affected. Okay. Capital X, small x and capital X are derived in this cross. Okay. Capital X, small x are derived in this cross. So, 50% of the females are affected because female is having recessive condition, both are affected X chromosomes. So, all of the sons will be affected. Okay. So, this is about color blindness. This next disorder that we are going to learn is also showing the same pattern of inheritance. We are now going to learn about hemophilia. Hemophilia is also a X-linked recessive disorder. Hemophilia is also an X-linked recessive disorder. X-linked recessive disorder means it is the genes responsible for hemophilia present on the X chromosome and they are recessive. Okay. So, this hemophilia is mainly caused because of the lack of the proteins involved in blood clotting, okay. Because of lack of proteins involved in blood clotting, what happens? Even due to very minor injury, large amount of blood will be lost, continuous flow of blood will be there. They won't have ability to clot the blood because blood clotting factors are absent. No, proteins involved in blood clotting are absent. So, there is no possibility for blood clotting. In these people, even due to minor injury, blood clotting will not occur, as a result of which the person may die. Blood is continuously flowing out of the body. What happens? Blood is continuously flowing out of the body. At one point, the blood in the entire body will be lost even with a minor injury and he will be dying, right. So, this is the hemophilia. See, this case hemophilia is an X-linked recessive disorder, as we have already studied that X-linked case is common in males. X-linked case is common in males. We will just X-linked case is common in males, but this males with hemophilia, X-linked males, hemophilia, see this X-linked disorders are common in male, but the males with hemophilia, they cannot survive longer. No, they won't be surviving for a long time. Because any minor cut, any minor injury will lead to death in them. So, these people, they cannot definitely survive for a long time. Okay. So, because these males are with hemophilia are not surviving for a long time, this male and females generally will be the carriers. Females are generally carriers. Females will be affected only when the male is affected, right. Females will be affected. Females, they can be affected only when the mother is a carrier and the father is affected, only in that case females will be affected. Only when the mother is carrier and father is affected, only in that case, or if the mother is a carrier or it is an affected individual, only in that case the females are affected, otherwise females are not affected. Okay. Males can be affected, females are generally carriers. Females are affected only when the mother is a carrier or affected individual, father is an affected individual. But the affected individual surviving for such long times to have children is not possible. So, generally females are unaffected, generally females are not affected. But the carrier females, they may give birth to males, okay, because as we have already studied, capital X, small x, 50% of the males contain capital X, 50% of them contain small x. Even due to one x, the character is expressed in males. So, carrier females, they may give birth to males, 50% of the males of the carrier females will be affected, okay. And these males, they won't survive for a long time. The descendants of Queen Victoria suffered from this disease. Queen Victoria was a carrier for hemophilia. So, many of her descendants all suffered from hemophilia. Because she is a carrier for hemophilia, many of her descendants suffered from hemophilia. Okay. So, that is all about hemophilia. Now, let us learn about sickle cell anemia. Sickle cell anemia. This is an autosomal recessive disorder. Recessive disorder. Because this disorder is autosomal, both males and females have equal chances for affecting. Both of them are affected. Because it is autosomal, both males and females, they have equal chances for being affected. Okay, because this disorder is an autosomal disorder. Males and females, both of them have equal chances for being affected. Okay, so this disorder, sickle cell anemia, is caused due to a point mutation in the hemoglobin chain. Generally, the normal hemoglobin is HbA. But this hemoglobin for the allele for sickle cell anemia is HbS. This is the normal one, and this is the one for sickle cell. Okay. So what is happening is exactly because of the sickle cell condition. If the individual is consisting of the sickle cell gene, this disorder is a recessive disorder, right? So HbA individual will be absolutely normal individual. HbS, because this disorder is a recessive disorder, heterozygous condition having a normal allele and a recessive and an affected recessive allele. Here the condition will be normal. Like it is not completely normal. 50% of the red blood cells are normal. 50% of the cells are sickle celled. 50% of the cells are sickle celled, but still they don't show any effect. They can survive. So they can survive happily. But this HbS and HbS condition is going to suffer from sickle cell anemia. They are going to suffer from sickle cell anemia. We have already studied that sickle cell anemia is caused due to a point mutation, right? In the beta globin chain. In the beta globin chain of hemoglobin, at 6th position, glutamic acid is replaced by valine, because codon GAG here, point mutation has occurred in point A, replacing A with U, GUG is formed. Glutamic acid is coded by GAG, but now A is replaced by U, GUG is coding for valine. So because glutamic acid is replaced by valine, this sickle cell condition has occurred. So when glutamic acid is replaced by valine under hypoxia conditions, hypoxia condition means reduced levels of oxygen. In reduced levels of oxygen conditions, the red blood cell, it becomes from biconcave to sickle shaped. Sickle shaped, okay, and sickle shaped red blood cells are not efficient in transportation of oxygen. That is why this sickle shaped cells will be dying, resulting in sickle cell anemia. Okay, so this is all about sickle cell anemia. Okay, so that's all for today's students. In today's class, we have learnt about mutations, we have learnt about pedigree analysis, and we have learnt about genetic disorders. What are Mendelian disorders? We have learned the examples for Mendelian disorders, and 3 Mendelian disorders we have learned today. The remaining 2 Mendelian disorders we will be learning in the next class. That's all for today, students. We will meet in the next class. Thank you all for joining the class today.